Oh, yes. Good morning, boys and girls. Good afternoon. It wouldn't be a Cami Capital stream if I wasn't a few minutes late. So we're here, 2:37 p.m. Lucky we didn't miss much. There's not much going on down here. But you know what? It looks very similar to yesterday's trade setup, right? We have a fairly even distribution, not as good as yesterday in terms of an even distribution, but pretty much the same thing going on here. Above a previous week's level. Yesterday, we were, of course, above the previous week's value high. Today, we're above the previous week's point of control. Obviously, a lot more above this time, and that distribution is not as clean cut as yesterday's one. But we do have a very similar setup. If we look on the DOM here as well, this doesn't normally play too much role in making trading decisions, but just to note the liquidity levels. If you look down at previous week's point of control, which is down at 672-ish. And then you look on the DOM here, around that 680. We can't see down to 6.7s yet, but around that 680 mark, you got a lot of 685, we got 238, and before when the DOM was a bit lower, we had a big level of about 200 contracts around 682, 681. So same thing, a lot of liquidity sitting around at this point, around these lows of the current day, and just above that previous week's support level. So that's an interesting setup to look at potentially if we head down there. Other than that, if we head back up, we have these double areas here, the previous day's value low and previous week's value high. Those two areas are stacked. There's a high volume node just above that. So a potential short area I'd be seeing here is if we pull up and we hit into these areas, spike into the previous week's value high and value low, spike into that, tap that high volume node, and that's where I'd look for a potential short. So that's what I'm looking at now. Where we are in terms of right now is around point of control, so no bueno. We don't trade that. So waiting for the extreme down here or the extreme up here, and until then we sit on our ass and talk shit. Hello. Nice. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. How can you see how many contracts on the Tradeovate DOM? I don't have it, just one active now. Larissa, you have to purchase the level 2 market data add-on. So if you click on your settings on Tradeovate and you go to your add-ons and preferences, under there is an option to purchase level 2 data. It costs about, I think it's $5 a month or something. It's nice to have. New York Open was beautiful. Yeah, let's have a look back at the Open, while we're sitting here and waiting for a trade. Let's have a look. I can see, when I marked it up this morning, I can see that we had a nice melt right off the value high of the overnight, basically immediately. But let's have a look. Let's pull this thing back. Let's pull it back. Hold on. Let's have a look. So yeah, another day, basically identical to yesterday, right? Meltdown from those overnight levels. So obviously you don't normally want to trade right after E930 open unless you're holding a position from the overnight session itself. But right off the open, overnight value area high, price tabbed that, melted off that, and has just been moving down since then. Half an hour into the overnight, the New York session is when I normally start to trade. If I'm trading the New York Open, which we will be doing that live in 2 weeks, by the way, I wait till about 10 o'clock. So this is 10 o'clock. What do I see from 10? From 10 o'clock, obviously we're below the overnight levels, right? And you'd just be looking for basically a retest somewhere in here. Here we are. You have your value area high of the current session. It's not really stacked enough with those overnight levels, so I don't know necessarily if I would trade that with anything more than 25% risk. And right near the previous day point of control, which was lined up with that current session point of control. So I don't actually see any confidence setups for that time frame until, let's have a look if we get anything going through here. Yeah, all you'd be doing is taking C-ranked trades for today's open. Unlike yesterday, where there's that perfect A-ranked short. Today, your first short opportunity is right on the open, which is normally not recommended. And then potentially this value high of the current session, then the overnight levels here, but it's a bit of a range, a bit of a distance from those levels to be stacked enough for me. So then you go down. What happened down here? Anything down here? Yeah, nothing really yet. Nothing really yet other than C rank trade. So hopefully we find a good trade today. B or A's, 2 to 3 confluences. There again, there's some good zones up here. I like these highs with the value high and the value low levels stacked there. And that high volume node sitting just above it. I like that area. And I like this low down here. Coming down to the lows, fairly even distribution. Good amount of liquidity on the DOM here at those levels. So that could be a decent area to look. Yes, giveaway today. Yes, giveaways today. Giveaways every day. The time for me is 6:43 in the morning on a Thursday. Again, the common joke is Cami Capital is living in the future. It is true. 6:43 a.m. Thursday, September 25th. Yeah, 25th. TPT says they don't provide market data through Tradeovate. Yeah, there you go. You'll have to purchase it. Yeah, it's like $5 a month, something like that. Often finding myself on the wrong end of A and B setups from POC. Any advice? Yes, Chief Veroni. That's why the general advice that I say is that when you're looking for a trade, if you're trading around any sort of point of control, there's more likely to be more chop, more chance of getting stopped out around a point of control just because of point of control's nature. Point of control, even if it's a previous day's point of control, is more likely to be noisy or choppy because it's a fair value price. So buyers and sellers will, if you want to haggle over that price, for lack of a better term. Whereas trading a value high or an extreme like that, value high, value low, plus a high volume node, is more likely to give you a cleaner rejection and often a bigger rejection as well. So yeah, just watch that for point of controls. That's something I noticed in the last couple of years that I've been trading this way, is that you get some really good setups with point of control, stacked confluences and A and B trades with point of control. You still get some really good setups, but the ones that lose more often or get stopped out and then the trade goes in your favor, are more likely to be around those point of control levels. I don't use volume profile, but I want to integrate it into my trading. What particular volume profile indicator do you use, and is it free? Love less stuff. Good question. The volume profile is called the Fixed Range Volume Profile, FRVP. It's the built-in one that comes with TradingView, but it's not free. Unfortunately, you must pay for the Essential plan on TradingView to access the volume profile. The Essential plan is $16.95 USD a month. Alex, yes, I can't. I don't have the Tradeovate screen sheet here, just the DOM. But if you click on your settings, there's a button that's called Add-ons and Preferences. Then it says Level 2 Market Data. Just activate that, and you can normally buy it right there within Tradeovate. This is the S&P. Yeah, chop cheese. You'll have days like that. Some days where it's just naturally going to be a little more choppy, and that's exactly right. Generally, we got pretty clean reactions, but some days it'll be choppy. Our cleanest trade here today was literally just the overnight value high. Didn't see too much more for the rest of the day here today. Some days are like that, especially one-sided moves like this. Or just have a look. There's quite a bit of chop around the pullbacks as well. So some days are like this. It's days like this where, if it's feeling too choppy or too unclean, just take a couple of trades, one loss, one win, or two losses, and call it a day until tomorrow. Choppy days can be those days where the psychology kicks in, where you want to blow accounts as well, from my experience. It's choppy days, you want to force something to work. Looks all right so far, though. We'll see how we go for the afternoon. Might get something clean this afternoon. This is not a bad area up here, but Yeah, we'll see if we can pull back. Waiting to get back to one of these extremes. You want to go down to the lows or up to the highs? That'll be the trade. Again, not taking trades from POC. That's naughty, naughty boy behavior. Brad, what's up, Brad? I have a confession. I bought and went through the naughty volume profile course. Really? Brad, that is quite the confession, my friend. Let me know how it went. By the way, Brad, what were we were talking about something. Yes, the video editing. We need to keep talking about that if you're still on board with that. Sorry, man. It's been so busy since I got back from Japan. But yes, please DM me again, Brad. It's probably somewhere in the Instagram DMs. Yeah, I'm pretty slack with those, as you know. J. Cameron Carter, I'm getting used to trading VP. May I ask, where do you have your VP anchored? Yes. This one here is 9:30 to the current time. Sorry, extend right. There we are. 9:30 to current time. That's your regular trading hours profile. And that's one we use for the developing levels. And then you have your overnight levels, which are 6 p.m. Eastern time through to 9:30 a.m. Hold on a second. Why is this? There we are. 6 p.m. through to 9:30 Eastern time. There we are. I thought so. Thought that was slightly off. Note of caution, if you mark these out on your phone, then jump on your computer. For some reason, they funk out a bit. There we are. That's better. From 6 p.m. Eastern time through to 9:30 a.m. And then your previous day is the previous day's 9:30 to 4 p.m. It's all Eastern time. So yeah, again, for people who are new to the stream, if you're trading around the current session point of control, the better trade is, especially on a fairly even distribution around the lows like this, you never want to take your entries around that midpoint. You want to wait for price to pull to the edges of that distribution or pull away from point of control. A point of control is okay to trade when the profile is a bit more one-sided. But what we have here is called it's not a D shape like yesterday, but it's a pretty even distribution where basically it's just indicating that this is a fair value price range across here. Whereas your typical high volume node is sharp, jagged edges like this. You can see more clearly where value is being found. In these cases, like if a profile was more jagged like this, and you had maybe a point of control across here, that is something that you'd be more, it would be more favorable to trade versus an even distribution, point of control across the middle. You only really want to use these even distribution point of controls as a take profit. Sean C, 149 USD. Jason, why do I keep the volume profile one color rather than showing value area up and value area down? Just because I don't mind, I'm not looking at necessarily what the value or what the, say if it's blue and red or blue and yellow, whatever the basic colors are. I'm not looking to see how much buyers and sellers there were at each level because generally it's going to be about even. And that's not what I'm looking for necessarily. I'm just looking for the high interest areas versus, how many buyers and sellers were active at each level. Just like to keep it one color, nice and simple, just to see the amount of transactions happening at a particular area. Because, if it was mixed between buyers and sellers and we can see that and we make a decision using that mix between buyers and sellers, sure, there might have been more buyers and sellers at a particular price point on the first go around that made that high volume node. But then if that breaks and we go to the underside, well, obviously we're looking for more sellers. So it doesn't really matter how many buyers versus sellers there were at each level when the way I use the volume profile. Just want to see how much people are transacting, how much interest are at these levels, and how much people will be willing to defend and transact at these levels. And nice and cheap, Chauncey. Not cheap in value, but relatively cheap in price. Why are micro and mini volume profiles different and which one should I use? Because they're two different They're two different traded products, right? So the micro is its own product. You got its own set of participants. The people that are trading the mini aren't trading the micro, if that makes sense. So the micro is technically its own standalone product with its own standalone participants. So if you're trading the micro, you should use the volume profile levels on the micro, because then that's showing you where fair value and value highs, value lows, etc. were for the micro participants. But yes, just like Ransom Bagan said, shouldn't be much difference. ZD Jr., no bias, no bias. I'm trading the volume profile setups, which means I can trade both ways. But in terms of you're asking for my overall thoughts on where price is headed, look at this. We've got a nice bullish pump here for the moment. Because we're holding so far above the previous week's fair value point, it's not quite bearish yet. Short term, today's been bearish, yes, but we have not yet traded to point of control of the previous week, which is fair value, nor have we broken it. So as long as it holds above here, neutral or bullish. Jack T, what sessions do I normally stream? I normally stream at the moment New York PM, 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. And in a couple of weeks, we'll be starting the New York AM just for while I'm away in Japan. And when I get back to New York afternoon for now. The idea is hopefully later in the year or into the early new year, we add in a London session or Asian session during the day as well for a little naughty double stream day. Derek Lee, what's up, man? Just enjoying life. Yes. Good. Glad to hear. Cookie, it's not super long. I think it's 3 hours, roughly 3 hours. Graham, what's up, Graham? Do we need level 2 data? Just realized I don't have it on Topstep, but it's an add-on. You don't need it, Graham. It can be nice to have, but it's not going to influence its trading decisions that much. Yesterday, looking at that big liquidity level was an exception. It's not normally something we look at or use for the volume profile setups. So it's definitely not needed, but it is nice to have just to see where the levels of liquidity are. Because if you can see a massive, unusually high level, like if we look here, that's not huge, but unusual compared to the other levels. At 6687, we have 191 contracts. So, and that's sitting right at the point of control of the current session. So that kind of stuff is good to know, good to see, especially when you're trading with limit orders. Or to look for sweeps sometimes if you're waiting for a liquidity. If you're expecting support down here, you'd want to wait for price to sweep that first before trying to get long, if that makes sense. But that's a nice to have rather than a must have. Ryu, what's up? Good to see you as well. Nice to see you. Oh, Derek Lee, I remember your video about enjoying life, not glued to the screen for hours. Good. Yes, correct. God First Financial, this is Tradeovate. Tradeovate's DOM, depth of market. Is it Lenra? Currently, NQ's value area low is at the ESPOC. Does that have any significance? No. So just use, for NASDAQ, just look at NASDAQ's levels, and ES, just look at ES levels. Don't try and overlap them or look for correlations when it comes to the value levels. And that's more of like a ICT approach for the correlations. But when it comes to volume profile, just use, so if you're trading NASDAQ, just use NASDAQ levels. If you're trading ES, just use ES. Mark, what's up, Mark from Queensland? Yes, no worries, man. No worries. This time works better for me rather than 11:30 p.m. my time. Nice. It's about 4 or 5 in the morning for you, isn't it? Nice and early, bright and early. Better man than me, mate. I am not a morning person. It's 6:57 a.m. for me here. And believe me, I'd rather be knocked out right now. Knocked out, sleeping, sweet dreams. Do you basically trade levels, no bias needed, just fading a stack of levels from what I understand? Yes, correct. It's good to have a bit of a bias in mind, but the thing is, the way I'm trading volume profile, I'm not looking for massive positional moves. I'm looking for areas where there's more likely to be a reaction, a small reaction. So it doesn't need to be a big, counter trend move or whatever. But say if I'm looking to trade these stacked levels up here with the high volume node, this could very well come all the way up and have a bullish reversal, but there's a pretty good chance because of the confluences at this level that I can at least capture my, 5-point reversal there. Boom, a little reaction, because there's going to be a lot of interest at these levels, most likely, right? And I can capture my little 5-point, get out with a profit, $1,000, $2,000, and, that thing could just continue up. So, yes, bias is somewhat important, but you can trade both directions, especially if you're a scalper. You're just looking for levels where there's more likely to be a reaction than not. If you're looking to trade bigger, more positional moves, then yes, the bias becomes more important. Like, you don't want to be holding a long on a clearly downwards day, if that makes sense. Yes, Chauncey, I do. Yes, so that because I primarily trade the Asian session, the course teaches you what you need for each session, but the setups apply to all sessions. But it tells you as well as specifics. So you have your Asian session specifics, your London session, sorry, Asian London, all your overnights are bunched into one, and then your New York session specifics. Absolutely, Dragon. Yep. I get on the school group every day after the stream, about an hour after the stream, and spend an hour in there. So anyone who's posted in the school, don't worry, it's every day. Every day I'll be in there reviewing everything. So Grey Horse from Auckland, what's up, man? Which prop firms would I recommend for NZers? Grey Horse, Take Profit Trader is my primary choice at the moment. So that one's good. Take Profit Trader. Apex is good once you've got the consistency down, but to start with, Take Profit Trader is good, and also Top Step's very beginner friendly, but just a stepping stone. So keep that in mind. Top Step, Take Profit Trader. If you want to skip the evals and go straight to funded, Tradeify is another one I've been toying with as well. It's pretty good. A bit more pricey, but they pay out and you go straight to funded, it's cool to skip that eval stage. It's just got tighter consistency rules for payout, but not too bad. But if I had to pick one, Take Profit Trader. No, Chief, we only had 4 trade ideas today, all hit except for the one I took. Damn. Sai, yes, the school is monthly subscription, yes. Only available to people who have taken the course. Why, thank you, Dan. It was always a dream to be on the radio. I'll take this as a third best option. School, Sean says, so the school is an add-on. Once you finish the course, there's an option to join a monthly community. And that's only an optional add-on, but it's for the ongoing community, feedback, ongoing trade playbooks, and ongoing modules. Today I'm adding another module into the school about the DOM and how the DOM is used and how it can be used alongside the volume profile. So it's just for the continued learning. It's $49 a month. But yes, it's separate to the course. Trade Day. Yes, I've heard of Trade Day Trader 808. They did reach out to ask for if I wanted a partnership. Their rules look really good. I haven't used them yet, so I have not partnered with them, but they do look pretty decent. I just have to test them out. Trade day, and there was one more I was looking at that was, oh yeah, my funded futures looks pretty decent as well. I haven't used them properly yet though. Multiple Apex accounts or 150k TPT. Luke, if you had to choose off the bat, I'd go for that 150k TPT account off the bat. That way you get some cash flow going. You can get those daily payouts. That's really nice. Just for cash flow, and then add on the Apex later. Like slowly add on with your profits. Grab some Apex accounts, build up to 20. Because put it this way, Take Profit Trader can pay the bills. Apex will be the one if you can crack that and stay consistent over 6 months. Apex 20 accounts. That's going to be the one that could potentially give you some life-changing income, right? Take Profit Trader will pay the bills. Apex for the moonshot. That's the way I'm using it anyway. Still just hovering around this POC again. Nothing here. Until we get to the extremes of this, there's no trade here for me, okay? So waiting for the value low or closer to the value low, or waiting to come above these highs here up to these value levels. So we need to get some movement going. That was a nice little short-term pump from point of control, but it had no steam. All right, faded out up the top here, so we might be playing a bit of a waiting game today. Remember to get the likes up to 150 today, 150 likes, and we start to do giveaways. So don't forget, we'll also be giving away one of the, well, maybe a couple of them. We'll give away 1 to 2 free course accesses this week as well for the giveaways. So, oh yeah, here we are. Look at this, 6687. So there's your point of control. Your current session point of control. Look how many contracts are sitting on the bid there. 204, 205 passive buyers sitting on the current session point of control to buy there. Again, I'm not going to trade that because I don't like trading point of control on its own, but these are the type of things where the DOM can be like, okay, there are people waiting to buy at point of control. Ryu, yes, 50k best value for money, 100%. When it comes to Take Profit Trader, Ryu, there's the only difference. For Take Profit Trader, although the 150k is not the best value for money for Take Profit Trader in the beginning, once you're in the funded stage, it is, because Take Profit Trader's funded account is more like a personal account where you can take payouts daily, right? Once you're past the threshold. So it's nice to have a bigger drawdown cushion on the Take Profit Trader account. So the 150k gives you your $4,500 drawdown. And then the way I treat my funded account with Take Profit Trader is anything above the threshold I take as a payout. Anything. So say I've got, if I've got $4,500, made the threshold already, and then I make $2,000 today, I will take out the entire $2,000. I don't build a cushion. Whereas if I'm doing that with a 50k account that only has $2,000 drawdown, I'm more inclined to want to build a cushion before taking a payout. So I like the baseline threshold better on the 150k Take Profit Trader because I'm taking max payout every time. But yeah, they are a little bit harder to pass, but not by much. And they're little bit more expensive. But yeah, if you trade it sensibly and don't blow the money on the eval, the 150k Take Profit Trader is probably the better long-term choice. Not best value for money up front, but better long-term choice if you're not blowing the evals. If that makes sense. Wow, pedal flow shred, nice. Probably going to take an L after this positive streak, but since trading volume profile and being in the school group, I'm 90% close to passing my first eval since 2 years of trading ICT. Yes, that's what we like to hear, man. Congrats, first of all. And, second of all, always think my next trade's going to be a win. Luna Trades, what's up, Luna? Cameo, yes. Yes. Hope you're well, man. About to request a 10K payout today with Apex. Payout total for September 20K. Yes, Mr. Tick. Good job. How much do I use ICT market structure? Still 0. Nihal, I use 0 ICT concepts. They're all gone, all purged from my brain. The only thing that's is anything similar to what I learned from ICT was just the liquidity sweep. So sometimes, like yesterday's trade, there was a massive amount of orders on the DOM. So again, liquidity is only determined by actual liquidity. I don't look at swing lows and swing highs as liquidity points because they're not necessarily. You want to look on the DOM where those are. But yesterday, at the lows, there was a big pool of liquidity of buyers resting above a support level, which yesterday was the previous week's value high. So I waited to get my long after that liquidity was tagged and those orders were activated. Then I got my long after it swept into those, and we got a basically no drawdown, decently sized trade yesterday. In fact, it's still here. Here it is. That was the trade right there. And that was a max of 3 tick drawdown. Took profit at 5 points, pulled that stop loss in, and then took full profit. I think it was up around here. We got trailing stop out on that at 4 p.m. But yeah, that's a 5-point risk on that. So that was a nice 1 to 2.75. Nice trade there. So yeah, that's the only thing reminiscent of a ICT type trade, is looking for those sweeps. But yeah, not something I do often. That point of controls just shifted up a bit here, 689 now. Very similar price level in terms of volume, 689, 687. Still got those orders on the bid here at 687, 204 contracts waiting to buy. Voltron, Louis Silva, what's up? What's up? Let's go. 8091, how do I deal with a big trade loss? Walk away. That's always the answer. Walk away. But I have very hard stops in place for myself for trading, so I don't really have too many tilt days anymore, which is good. But on those those odd days where I do have a massive loss, just walk away, because we're prone to do more damage after hitting those big losing days. Try and get revenge or jump on another account and try and make up for it. And yeah, just walk away. Reset, come back tomorrow. The DOM is pending orders not completed. Yes, correct. So yeah, these are all passive orders. They don't mean anything until, well, here's what they. So the orders on the DOM show buyer or seller intent, not necessarily actions they take. So just like yesterday when we saw the massive order on the DOM here, the massive amount of buys on the DOM yesterday when it swept, what I was looking for was when we came down there, did they pull? Meaning, did the buyers pull their order from the book as price went down? If yes, that may have been an indication price was going to keep going lower. Or if they got filled, then that was a better indication to keep going long, to go with my long trade idea. So the way you can tell is you'll see on here, if you got the settings activated for pulling and stacking, you can see if they pull those trades from the book or if they stay and get filled. And you can use the time and sales to confirm that those orders were filled as well. Yes, we're not in a trade now, but I'll certainly trade if I'm waiting for price to come up to here or down to here. Value lows or the previous day's value levels. I don't think so, God's Bet. I don't think there's a lockout on Tradeovate. Yes, Tom, we have time and sales on another screen. Yes, time and sales, bookmap, and the DOM. How would you deal with the trailing drawdown on the TPT Pro account, 50K? It's not too bad, Rainy. So what you have to do with the intraday trailing drawdown, this applies to Apex and Take Profit Trader, but until you hit the threshold where it stops following you, which is equal to your drawdown, you have to take consistent base hits, small trades. So the way I pass it in my Take Profit Trader and Apex accounts is I go for $250 trades, basically $250 to $300. So 3 points and 3 contracts. And I'm going in as soon as that trade hits 75% of my target, I pull the stop in to break even and just let it hit target. I don't trail the trade. I just let it take those little small base hits over and over again. It can take 10 days, 10, 15 trading days to pass the threshold before it stops following you. Then at that point, I start to trade it, with more bigger trading positions or bigger swings, etc. But yeah, when you're still trying to face the intraday trailing drawdown, take smaller base hits, trail your stops tight, and take profit quickly. Yeah, it just takes 10 to 15 days of scalping, consistent scalping to beat it. Last week, when I got the 10K Take Profit Trader payout on that first 150K account put through last week, I managed to pass the trailing drawdown in the first trade. I went in an Asian session trade, 10 contracts, trailed my stop. It passed that $4,500 profit. I trailed right behind it so it didn't come back, and it kept going. I caught a really good move on that first trade. Ended up making 7K on that first day, beating the trailing drawdown. That was that's a lucky situation. Normally I have to scalp to get to that point, but I went in with bigger size, small stop, and managed to catch a decent, momentum play on that one. This is not NQ, this is the ES. You can see the watermark on the chart there, ES1, S&P 500. Is it true I need to have an account with Wise to get funded on Take Profit Trader? No, you don't need Wise. You can also use PayPal. I also use PayPal. Curate, what's up, man? Trying out VP with my support and resistance. Was able to cop 2 wins for the week so far. Yes, Curate. Nice, man. Why does the volume profile not work on German 40? If it's a CFD wave catcher, you can't do volume profile on the CFDs. You got to use the future, whatever the futures equivalent of the German 40 is. Isn't that the DAX? I can't remember now. Let's go. Likes to 150 and we get giveaways going, boys and girls. Free Take Profit Trader, free Apex, or free course access. 150 likes and we get that going. Better get it going before we get a trade here, potentially. Still got 200 odd contracts sitting at the old point of control. Does the intraday drawdown reset after 6 p.m.? Intraday trailing drawdown will follow you until you make your threshold, which is so if you got a 150K account, it follows you till you made 4,500. But yes, it follows the high watermark. So not that it will reset. Whatever the highest account balance you had was, even if it was in a previously open trade that you closed at a lower profit, it's going to be $4,500 away from the highest account balance you've had. And that doesn't reset. If it was to reset, that's end of day drawdown. So those are your top steps, or what's another one that uses end of day? Tradeify. Yeah, a bit of a paint dry session this afternoon here, boys and girls, holding around this point of control. No action yet. No action. Someone asked a good question yesterday on the live stream. I'll answer that there if you're watching today. Someone asked a question in the comments about confirmation and why I don't use confirmations. And I'll give it, just while we're waiting, I'll give you the little explanation here. So say most retail traders will wait for confirmation in the sense they have their levels they're looking to trade. They'll wait for price to hit those levels, have the reaction, and then try and get in on a pullback before entering their trade. So say if this is your level of interest here, you're waiting for price to react bearish, just as an example. That's where your initial move happened. They're waiting to get in on some sort of pullback, aka confirmation. The problem with that is by the time you've got confirmation, so-called confirmation, you've already missed the main move, because a lot of the time, the levels that you're looking to trade at, the most potent reaction is right off the bat, like on that first tap. After that, you have a really decent chance, especially if price is already coming back for a so-called pullback. There's nothing to say that's a pullback, right? After that first reaction's happened, that's your most potent reaction where market participants have reacted to those levels that you're looking to trade at. By the time it's coming back, it could be buyers are now taking control and pulling back. So you just get stopped out after missing that initial reaction. And the thing with confirmation is if the market confirmed its moves, trading would be super easy, right? If there was actual, if the market gave away that it's going to confirm this move to the downside before you get in, trading will be so easy. Unfortunately, confirmation is just a kind of like a mental crutch, I want to call it, that people use to try and feel safer in taking a trade. The way I prefer to trade is to trust my levels, right? Have my analysis, have my confluences all stacked up. We could have, your value levels all stacked, high volume node there. So I know off the bat that this area, yes, I could be wrong, but I know this area here has a pretty decent reaction, pretty decent chance of having a short reaction. So all I want to be doing is finding a place in this kind of cluster of confluences where I'm comfortable to put my trade in. So maybe halfway between there, have my 5-point stop and have a look, okay, is that enough space to give that that trade room to breathe? And just capture that initial reaction, because that's your most potent reaction most of the time. If I was waiting for this to confirm first and it hits the level, shorts, I miss that and I'm waiting, then I wait to get in on the second leg or the second pullback. Why would there be more chance of a reaction happening on the second pullback when we've already hit and mitigated these levels, traded these levels? Buyers and sellers got to transact these levels of interest. Why would there then be more chance of a second reaction happening further down when I could just trade that better risk to reward scenario up here, trust the levels, trust the confluences, and trust the level of interest and capture that first reaction? Because then the thing is, capturing the first reaction as well is if it does continue and I've left a runner, for example, like yesterday's trade, left a runner, I then have a really good risk to reward scenario versus if I got in deeper and potentially get stopped out on that trailing contract. Like yesterday, here, I got in no confirmation, right? Because I don't trade with confirmation at all. So I got in right there, basically bottom ticking that move to the upside and got my trade to go long, right? Took the main portion of my profit off there at 708 and trailed the rest for a really good trade. Whereas if I got in after so-called confirmation, my entry might be up here, right? Number one, it's going to be harder to hit my 5-point take profit. Took a while, took a lot longer because that initial powerful reaction, that was the most powerful reaction off those levels there, had already happened. And then if I was to trail my stop, I would have been stopped out before that runner could maximize the rest of the move. So I prefer to capture those areas where there's the most favorable risk to reward scenario, keeping in mind that confirmation is not necessarily a real thing, and just trust the levels, trade the levels, and let my stop losses, my risk management do the heavy lifting in terms of, if I'm wrong, then the worst case is a 5-point stop out. If I'm right, then we're going, well over 5 points. So yeah, not saying there's necessarily anything wrong with people trading confirmations, but that's just the way that I have found works best for me over the years. And if you think about confirmation, it wouldn't make sense for the market to confirm a move before it does something. Trust your levels, trust the initial reaction, capture the most powerful move, the most powerful reaction, because anything that's looks like a pullback may just be price coming back to blast through your levels. My missus asked if I won the giveaway, could I trade it for a week at your gaff to watch you trade? I'm at that stage when you were crying on the kitchen floor, but double the amount in debt. Damn, man. I know how it feels, Tom. I know how it feels, man. Shit stage to be in, eh? And Mind Over Markets. Yes, I have read Mind Over Markets. Great book. Great book. More on the TPO market profiles, but still, same things apply, right? Will I be live on Friday? No, Monday to Thursdays I'm live. No, tech speaker. TPT's rules for payouts are you just have to have made your threshold. So you don't have to make $200 a day for 5 days, top step style. It's just if you have a 150K account, you have $4,500 drawdown, right? Initially, all you have to do is make $4,500 profit. Then anything above that you can take for payout. So if you, like for me last week, on my first day in the funded account, I made $7,200. So immediately on that first day, $2,300 was available for payout. Oh, whatever the math is on that, I can't remember now. But you know what I mean? Anything above the 4,500 was available for payout. So it's not like you have to follow consistencies, etc. Did I say trade advised? No, trade of 8. Trade of 8. So when trading, there is only the current profile. Do you focus on market direction to dictate if you're buying or selling? Like we're making higher highs and higher lows, so all HVNs under our support. It's kind of the idea, Idris. So not looking at the market structure per se, but yes, if you've only got the current profile, the idea is that you're watching where we are in relation to the nodes. Are we breaking through support and retesting on the other side? Support being the high volume nodes. Then you should look for resistance, and vice versa. If we're breaking through high volume nodes to the upside, then you're looking for support. But yeah, that's a C rank trade and trading with a single confluence. So you're more likely to lose those trades, but that's the idea. Yes, God's Battle. Yes, you can. Anyone in the school community can message me privately. Yes. On school. How about the 50K account for TPT? That is $2,000 drawdown. When Cami Crypto. Cami Crypto is pumping on the side. I have not put any content out on that yet, but Cami Crypto is having a decent time. What's a good cushion on a 50K TPT account? That's what I mean earlier about the 150K TPT accounts being better in the long run. Is I feel like 2K drawdown is a little bit too tight of a cushion. So if you got the 50K funded account, I'd be wanting to build that threshold up to match the 150K, $4,500 before I'd start taking a payout. But on the 50K, you can technically take a payout. Anything above $2,000, you can take a payout on. But I'd be building more of a cushion on that unless you're trading micros or very small trades. I cannot stand trading micros, so. Could I do a video on prop firm reviews? Yes, absolutely. The next video I'm making actually is next week, and it's going to be ranking the prop firms I've used on a tier list, S, A, B, C, F. Just the ones I've used. What's my take on negative R? Negative R is good. If your win rate's high enough, negative R is, there's no problem with that. Oh, camera's gone, dude. Come on. The negative R, let me just reset this camera. Hold on a second. Still here. Negative R, I took a mentorship with a professional scalper, and I'm meaning not a YouTube or influencer trader, but an old man, a pro who worked on the trading floors and now trades professionally from home. And he trades purely off the DOM using negative R. And I mean risking 10 ticks to make 3 to 5 ticks. So it's a common thing with professional scalpers, negative R, but you do have to make sure your win rate's high enough. If you have a low win rate and you're trading with negative R, you're just going to burn. Come on, camera. Hold on a second. We're still here. Hold on. Stupid ass camera. Oh, yeah, there we go. There we go. Build up and trade the profit, correct. Yes. Yeah, it's feeling like that Dubai drone. We might see, though, towards the end of the day, we might get some more movement here. Oh, shit, it is towards the end of the day. It's 3:30. Holy shit. Yeah. Let's see, man. There's nothing, again, we don't want to trade around point of control, so nothing here. Let's go for the giveaway, guys. Have we got 150? 177. Yeah, you guys smashed it. Okay, let's do a giveaway right now. Let me get the giveaway going. It's same conditions as yesterday. You guys remember what we did yesterday. Anyone can enter. All I ask is that if you enter, make sure you have an Instagram so you can DM me or I can DM you afterwards to give you the code or give you the giveaway. So all right, let's just give giveaways. The first, I'm going to select a few winners today. We're going to go for a few. Actually, if you guys get the likes to 200, we'll do 3 giveaways today. We'll do 2 account giveaways. Oh, there you go. You smashed it already. Two account giveaways, and I'm going to give away 1 course. All right, 1 course access. So what we need to do here, I'm going to put a link in the chat, right? Link in the chat. There's no trades happening right now, okay? Not even close, so we're going to be all right. I'm going to put a link in the chat here. Click this link, right? I've posted it in there right now. Like the post. Like the post. And then in the comments of that post, it's just on YouTube. Click that link. I posted it 3 times now. Like the post. In the comments, comment Apex or TPT. Apex, TPT. Apex, TPT. All right, you choose which one. I'm going to select 3 random winners today. 1, 2. 2 people will receive a free account, either Apex or TPT. You choose. And 1 person will receive course access. So let's go. I'm going to choose that in about 5 minutes. So 5 minutes to go. Click that post. Like it. Comment in there. And I will choose someone, 3 random people, in 5 minutes Timer starting. I'm going to start the timer. You make sure you click and like. If you can't click the links, Chauncey, open a new tab, go to my channel, click on the community tab, and it's the most recent post under my YouTube community tab. Going to start a timer here, and in 5 minutes we'll select the winner. Since we have received no trade setups today. All right, timer is on. Jesse's music, good question. How did I work on my psychology? You know, Jesse, that's one of those things where it's literally just been time for me. There's been no aha moment or book or anything that's really done that for me. It's just been, you know, if you burn yourself, and like Tom talked about earlier, I talk about this in one of my old videos, having the mental breakdown on the kitchen floor. You know, just so frustrated with life and not making money and being in debt and burning cash, trying to make trading work and business and job, or trying to make things work and nothing's working for you. You keep tilting, keep making bad risk management decisions. Enough of those moments will either cause you to quit or will cause you to be like, okay, I need to reel it in. If I want to make this work, actually make some money, I need to take a more professional approach to my risk management, to my trading. Because your brain doesn't want to keep hurting itself that way, right? So you have enough of those moments where you're just blowing accounts and down in the depths mentally. You just naturally start to be a bit more disciplined. Keep in mind, this is almost my 8th year. Come March, this will be my 8th year trading. So there's been many of those moments, and it's taken maybe to the last 2 years to really get that on lock. Now, it doesn't have to take that long, but that's how long it took me, because I do have a natural tendency, as do most humans, but I feel like I have a very, very strong inclination towards gambling. So it was a hard thing to go through and nail down, was that risk management. But I just was sick of losing, man. That's what it was. I was sick of losing, sick of blowing money needlessly. It's like, okay, if I just think about it this way, for example, the framework I used to use to pass evals was, if I trade my strategy to the T, proper risk management, proper sizing, and only allow myself to lose 1/10 of the drawdown on an eval per day, I'd have to lose 10 days in a row to blow the eval. And I knew that if I followed my strategy and followed my proper sizing and risk management, I would not lose 10 days in a row, zero chance. So I was like, okay, if I just follow my own rules like this, I will stop blowing money on evals. And of course, at the time, I didn't have money to blow on evals, but I still was blowing money on evals. And yeah, it's just like little turning points like that. You think, okay, I want to stop losing money. I'm going to follow my rules. If I follow my rules, I'm not going to lose money anymore. And from that point, you slowly start passing evals. You eventually get your first payout, start getting green, start paying back the money you've blown and trying to crack this game. And then it's a bit more upwards from there. Look at this nonsense, boys and girls, around point of control. That's what I mean. Today may be a no-trade day. We've got literally 24 minutes to go, and we have not moved from POC. Yeah, Noah, it's a good point, Noah. If you've commented more than once on the post, not that you're excluded, but I'm going by alphabetical. So if you've commented more than once, it doesn't count any more extra entries. So just comment once on that post for the giveaway. 47 seconds to go. We'll choose 3 winners. Kazal, check my YouTube's got a free playlist on the volume profile, and then I've also got a relatively cheap course, camicapital.com, also in the description of this video. for a more structured and in-depth run through of my trading approach. But yes, check out the volume profile playlist on my channel first to see if it resonates. Camera's gone again. Yes, it is. What is with this camera, man? Again, anyone know anything about cameras? There we are. There's the timer. This is a $6,000 Sony camera. And after an hour of being on, it not that it's the power saving settings are off, but it still turns itself off. It's not even really overheated or anything. Oh, Jaden, nice. You got a 10K payout. Glad to hear, man. Congratulations. That's awesome. FX Billionaire, it's... If you're taking the old Tech Jump course, the Tech Jump course is basically the same. The new one just has a couple extra modules added for that are session specific, and it's been re-recorded to be a bit more concise, but it's the same information. If you're talking about the old one, which I had a few years ago on my ICT approach, it is different to that 100%. There's no ICT in this new one. No, a fake battery thing, Luna? Yeah, someone mentioned something about removing the battery. Is that the secret? Is that what I have to do? Maybe that's what it is, because I still have the normal battery in there. Maybe that's what it is. The empty battery for when it's plugged in. Oh, okay, Luna. No, I don't have that. Is that what it is? Okay, you might have cracked it for me, man. So, because someone said that last time, they were like, if you have the battery in, it's gonna turn off when plugged in. So that's interesting. I will look into that. Let's do the giveaway first. Here we go. I'm about to choose 3 winners. So let me go to the post. Okay, I'm gonna choose. First of all, we'll choose 2 winners for account giveaways. So let's scroll here. Let's go winner random, and let's go. Okay, Lilome, 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 winner number 1, Lilome, and I'll just get the link for you guys who have won. First of all, congrats to Lilome for winning the first free account. Lil Omi, and then let's choose another one. Scroll. And Michael Smrick 01. Lil Omi and Michael Smrick 01. Lil Omi, Michael Smrick. That's the first 2 winners. Now, last winner. Let me scroll through. Lil Omi, Michael Smrick. Make yourself known in the chat, first of all. And last giveaway here, this is going to be for the free course. Okay. And first of all, if you do win the free course and you've either already part of the course, let me know. Beauty Joy 8529. Lilami, Michael Smrack. There we are. And Beauty Joy 8529. Lilami, Michael Smrick. Beauty Joy 8529. I've just posted my Instagram. Lilo Me, Michael Smrick, Beauty Joy 8529. Please message me on Instagram. The Instagram I've just posted in the chat. Message me, screenshot proof of your YouTube account or your YouTube page so I know it was you. Lilo Me, Michael Smrick, Beauty Joy 8529. And please message me. I will give the first 2 winners a free account eval. for TPT or Apex, and the Beauty Joy 8529. If you've not already part of the course, you'll get a free course access if you wish to have that. If not, I can give you a free eval as well, so you choose. Congrats to the winners today. More giveaways tomorrow. Yes, if you've received the lifetime, Louis Silver, can you please email me, Louis Silver? Absolutely, man. Anyone who had lifetime to the old tick jump, emails were sent out for invites to the new platform. So check your spam. This was a while ago now. So email me again if you have not received the invite, and I will add you into the new one. Anyone who had lifetime previously, please email. Email with proof of the lifetime purchase, and I will add you in. Anyway, we're almost at market on close, and we've had nothing. Look at this, just hitting around this point of control. Some days we're going to be like this. It's very rare to have a no trade day on a volume profile approach, but unfortunately, when price sits around point of control, this is the best we can do. Email camicapital@gmail.com. camicapital@gmail.com. More giveaways tomorrow. Giveaways every day. Oh, Apex is 90% off right now. Good stuff. Good stuff. Code CAMCAP. Whitewater Joe, see you tomorrow, man. Thoughts on negative R but higher win rate? I think that's good. It's not a bad thing. As long as you know your stats, you have to know your win rate's high enough to handle negative R, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. Some of my trades are negative R. Not by much, but less than 1-to-1 sometimes. Yes, if Apex is 90% off, I will certainly be loading up on more evals. I'm still at 12 funded Apex. I need to get another 8. When it's 90% off, that's the best time to grab them to load up. It's so cheap. 90% off of their 50Ks, you're paying pennies. Yeah, I'm not aware of a 90% off sale. Someone said it in the chat, but I'm not aware of one. If it's true, please confirm. Otherwise, it's 80% off as always. Code CAMCAP, bros. How often does Apex have sale on PA fees? Anyone know? Pretty often. Apex is on sale like at least once a month. Oh, nice. God's better. There is a lockout feature on Tradeovate. Okay. Yes, be ready for the activation. The activation fee is almost always 130. Billy Barlow, I'm live Monday to Thursday, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time for the next week and a half. The week of October 7th, I will be live at the Open, or an hour before the Open, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. It's 50% off currently. Okay, well, it turns out the 80% is ended as well. Never mind it, boys and girls. 80% ended yesterday. False flag. False flag. Yeah, wait for the sales on Apex. It's almost always 80 or 90% off. Wait for the sales. It'll be on sale again next week, no doubt. Wait for the sales. Use TPT in the meantime. No worries, Louis. I'll get to you right after. Absolutely. This is shocking. Look from when the stream started, right? Look from when we started, 2:30. So from that low here to this high, This is what we've been dealing with since the stream started. A 10-point range. Barely a range. 10 points and then a very tight consolidation. We have MOC in 2 minutes. So maybe we get some sort of movement here shortly. So I'm looking at, even on MOC, I might look for a quick trade. So if we get to one of these extremes, I'll certainly look for a trade. Camera's gone again. Getting off at 4 p.m., ZD Jr. OG point of chop, yeah, man. End of day is normally a nice time to trade the volume profile. Hence the starting at 2:30 p.m. as well as being a reasonable hour for me to wake up, because I'm a very sleepy boy. But it's normally a really nice time to trade. But yeah, today has been shockingly boring. Here we go. 1 minute. 1 minute to MOC, then maybe we get some movement. Oh yes, if you won the giveaways today, there's my Instagram linked in the chat. Click that, DM me with a screenshot of your YouTube homepage so I know it's you and you're not impersonating. I had people try and pretend to be other winners. It's so obvious, but just send me a screenshot to prove it's your YouTube account. And yeah, DM me and I'll give you the giveaways. All right. 5 seconds. MOC go time. Let's have a look. Oh, yes. MOC, incoming. Here we go. Finally moving. Let's see if we can get up to these extremes up here, around 700. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I'm in the US and like to be up during Asia and London. Yeah, fair. You are a night owl, eh? Yeah, MOC is market on close. It's the last 10 minutes of the regular trading hours. If you're using you can see it on the DOM here as well, but activity increases massively and volume increases massively as institutions, big players, and retail close up their positions, closing out for the day. You get a lot of activity. So apart from the open, MOC is probably the next biggest volume time frame or window of time in the day. No worries. No worries. If you winners can't send a screenshot immediately, it's because I have to accept the request. So I'll accept your requests. Just tell me who you are from YouTube for the giveaway. And then as soon as I accept the request, send the screenshot, and then we'll go from there. We'll get on that right after the stream. No worries, winners. Yeah. Let me accept your request after the stream, and then you can send the screenshot, and we'll go from there. No problem. No worries. No worries. Look at all these. We got a lot of liquidity sitting up at these 696, 697, 698, all underneath these value levels up here. Man, for even MOC to be real tight in this range is shocking, man. We really just sat here for an hour and a half for no trade setup today. Mike, the new channel, I haven't posted in a while actually. Truth be told, I do plan to get back to that soon, but yes, I've been very busy in real life. I haven't had time to run both channels, but it's sitting there. It's gonna be posted on. I promise. Yes, rare bad day for VP. Not that there was any bad setups, just no setups today. Apart from the open setups, all overnight. A lot of setups overnight, but yeah, on the open today. After that, been nothing. All right, we're pulling towards these 700 levels. Absolutely, Dragon. Or is it Malik? Malik? Absolutely, man. Certainly giveaways inside school as well. Those are coming. Exclusive to the school group. All right. It's 5 minutes to the close, boys and girls. I'm going to just call it there. We've just sat here to watch the paint dry this afternoon. At least we had a little bit of good chats here and there, right? And at least we had some giveaways, a triple giveaway. We'll do more giveaways tomorrow for sure. Other than that, use code CAMCAP, boys and girls. Thank you for watching. Code CAMCAP on Take Profit Trader for 40% off and no activation fee. Give them a go. It's the main prop firm I'm using at the moment. Highly recommend them. 10K payout was received in 24 hours, under 24 hours. After trading with them 3 days last weekend, payouts beforehand. They pay out, good reliable firm. Reminds me of OG Top Step. Give them a go. Take Profit Trader, link in the chat, code CAMCAP for that. Also, Apex. Apex is not currently on sale. If you plan to use Apex, code CAMCAP gets you the best discount on that. And finally, if you wish to learn the volume profile, I do have a reasonably priced course running through my trading approach and everything I know about volume profile with the aim of getting you from A to Z in volume profile and how to practically apply it for trade setups as quick as possible. That is linked in the description of my video here, or you can find it at camicapital.com. So check that out, guys. Otherwise, I'll see you guys same time tomorrow, 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. And let's see if I can be on time tomorrow.